قال المؤلف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, ليس بعرض, he is not at all a property. SharH, the explanation is أن الله تبارك وتعالى ليس عرضا, that Allah تبارك وتعالى is not a property. لأن الله تعالى قائم بذاته, because Allah, exalted is He, is self-existent. أي وجوده ليس قائما بغيره, meaning that His existence is not by extension of something else. وَالْعَرَضُ قَائِمٌ بِغَيْرِهِ, and a property is something that its existence is by extension of something else. فَهُوَ لَا يَقُومُ بِذَاتِهِ, and therefore a property does not have an independent standing. It's not self-contained. بَلْ يَفْتَقِرُ إِلَى مَحَلٍ يَقُومُ بِهِ, rather it needs a vessel through which it would exist. وَيَكُونُ مُمْكِنًا, and furthermore, it is a possibility, not a necessity. وَلِأَنَّ مِنْهُ مَا لَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ, and also because some properties do not last for even 2 moments. وَاللَّهُ لَيْسَ مُقْتَرِنًا بِالزَّمَنِ, and Allah is not something associated with time. وَقَدْ أَطْلَقَ بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى الْعَرَضِ بِأَنَّهُ لَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ, and some have said without restriction, they gave an open statement that the property is something that does not last for 2 moments. فَعَلَى قولهم اللون الذي في الجسم الأبيض ليس عين البياض الذي كان في الحال الأول. So according to their saying, according to their wording, yani if they really believe as they said, then the color that is in a white body, it is not the very whiteness that was existing a moment ago. إنما هو مثله, rather it would be like it. تجدد, it would have updated. وهكذا ينعدم ثم يتجدد, and like that it would vanish and then renew. ثم ينعدم ثم يتجدد بتلاحق, and then it would vanish and then renew constantly without a gap in between. وقال بعضهم, and some said, العرض منه ما يبقى زمانين ومنه ما لا يبقى زمانين. The property, some properties last for 2 moments. That means 2 moments or more. And some of them do not last for 2 moments. So that means a single moment only. فَمِنَ الَّذِي لَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ الْحَرَكَةِ. An example of what does not last for 2 moments is motion. Meaning, when you see a moving thing moving over the course of moments, minutes, seconds and minutes and hours, etc., then that's really a series of movements. It's not one movement, but it's a series of movements. Each one is lasting for a mere moment and then followed by another one. وَهَذَا شَيْءٌ مُشَاهَدٌ مَا فِيهِ كَلَامٌ. This is something witnessed. There's no discussion about it. Yani, it's obvious. فكل فردة من أفراد الحركات تنقضي ثم تخلفها غيرها. And so every individual movement finishes and then is replaced by another. فالقول سديد, and you call, and therefore The accurate saying is that it be said, مِنَ الْعَرَضِ مَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ. Some properties last for 2 moments or more. وَمِنْهُ مَا لَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ. And some properties do not last for 2 moments. كَالْعُلُومِ وَالْأَلْوَانِ. Like knowledges and colors. So they have some nouns in English, they call them uncountable nouns. That means you're not supposed to pluralize them. But many of those that are not supposed to be pluralized, they say, if you translate them, yani, you would find, and how it translates into Arabic does pluralize. So according to them, it's not right to say knowledges, but in Arabic you can say ulum, and that's what it would mean. It's the plural of ilm, and ilm means knowledge. So some of it does not last for 2 moments. كالعلوم والألوان. Like, so wait, let me back up here. من العرض ما يبقى زمانين. Some properties do last for 2 moments. وَمِنْهُ مَا لَا يَبْقَى زَمَانَيْنِ. And some of them do not last for 2 moments. كَالْعُلُومِ وَالْأَلْوَانِ. Like knowledges and colors. So when he says like knowledges and colors, that goes back to the first one, not the last one. Yani, really his statement is clear if you can think and you believe in yourself. But if you don't believe in yourself and you are not confident about your own ability to think, then you'll be confused by this statement. Because he says, I'll just translate it, some properties last for 2 moments. And some properties do not last for 2 moments, like knowledges and colors. So if you can't trust your own ability to think, you'd say, what is he saying here? Is he saying that knowledges and colors do not last for 2 moments? Because of the sequence of the words here? Because if he's saying that, then I'm confused. And if he's not saying that, then why did he word it this way? Is that what he meant? What's going on? Let me ask. But if you have some, if you can think well, insha'Allah ta'ala, then it's clear that it's like something's interjected there. So some properties, they last for 2 moments, like knowledges and colors. And some properties do not last for 2 moments. فَإِنَّهَا مُشَاهَدٌ مَحْسُوسٌ بَقَاؤُهَا زَمَانَيْنِ. Then he said right afterwards, for indeed those knowledges and colors, they are witnessed and perceived. Their remainder for 2 moments is perceivable. زَمَانَيْنِ فَأَكْثَرُ. For 2 moments or more. فَالْعِلْمُ بِالشَّيْءِ الَّذِي حَصَلَ فِي الشَّخْصِ في الآن الأول هو موجود في الآن الثاني بعينه. And so the knowledge that happens to a person, within a person, at a first moment, it is the very knowledge that exists for him in the second moment. لم ينعدم فيخلفه مثله. لم ينعدم فيخلفه مثله. It wasn't something that vanished and then a replica replaced it. وقد ذهب التفتزاني في شرحه لهذه العقيدة إلى أن العرض لا يبقى زمانين. And At-Taftazani, in his explanation of this creedal document, the text of An-Nasafiyyah, he went to the position that the property does not last for 2 moments. So you have 2 possibilities here. It's possible that he said the open statement while he believes that there's details. That means, if that's the case, that he wasn't being very accurate. And it's possible that he believes in the statement as he said it. And the way the Shaykh says this, it's as if the Shaykh is saying he believes in it as he said it, because he said that's the way he went. He said, At-Taftazani, in his explanation of this creedal document, went to the position, yani it's his madhab, that the property is something that doesn't remain for 2 moments. وَهَذَا الْإِطْلَاقُ غَيْرُ مَقْبُولٍ عَقْلًا وَنَقْلًا. And this open statement, this unrestricted or absolute statement, is unacceptable intellectually and according to the documentary evidence. كيف يكون كل ما يقوم بالجسم ينعدم ثم يعود مثله? How would it be that everything that exists by extension of a body vanishes and then its replica comes after it? ثم ينعدم ثم يعود مثله. And then it vanishes and then a replica comes after it. وهكذا على الدوام, and etc. يعني always. بما في ذلك الألوان, while amongst those properties is color, يعني are the colors. هذا شبيه بقول الملاحدة. This is similar to the saying of the irreligious atheists. القائلين الأجسام والأجرام لا تبقى زمانين. Those who say that bodies and volumes do not last for 2 moments. بل تنعدم ثم يتجدد مثلها. Rather, they vanish and then they are replaced by a similar. فهذه الأرض على زعمهم كل لحظة تتبدل. And so this earth, according to their claim, at every moment is regenerating, renewing. ليست الآن في هذه الثانية هي التي تكون في الثانية التي بعدها. It is not now, at this very second, the same one that it shall be in the subsequent second. I found it interesting, subhanAllah, the word second in English. You know, you have seconds, minutes, and hours. So the word second, doesn't that word also mean the one after the first? So you say first, second. So second here means the one after the first. And then you say second, but it means that unit of time. It's the same in Arabic, thaniya. The thaniya is the second, meaning a unit of time. It also means the one that comes after the first. So I don't know how that happened. Maybe if we research that, we would find out something. So, أولئك الملاحدة كل الأجرام عندهم حتى العرش والشمس والقمر تنعدم ثم يخلفها مثلها. And so those irreligious ones, every volume, according to them, even the ceiling of paradise and the sun and the moon vanishes and then is replaced by its similar. تنعدم ثم يخلفها مثلها, and then it disappears and then something like it replaces it. وهكذا, and so on. وهذا خروج عن العقل, and this is a departure of the intellect. قال المؤلف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him. ولا جسم, nor a body, يعني, nor is he at all a body. SharH, the explanation. قد تقدم تفسير الجسم. The definition of jism, body, has already been presented. أنه ما تركب من جوهرين فأكثر, that it is a compound of two atoms or more. قال سيف الدين الآمدي في كتابه غاية المرام في علم الكلام. Sayfuddin Al-Amidi said in his book غاية المرام في علم الكلام ما نصه, quote, فإن قيل, if it were said, ما نشاهده من الموجودات ليس إلا أجساما وأعراضا, all of what we witness of existing things is nothing but bodies and properties. وإثبات قسم ثالث مما لا نعقله, and the confirmation of a third category is something that we do not conceive. It's something unthinkable. The confirmation of a third category is unthinkable to us. وإذا كانت الموجودات منحصرة فيما ذكرناه, and if existing things are limited to what we have mentioned, فلا جائز أن يكون البارئ عرضا, then it's not possible that the creator would be a property. لأن العرض مفتقر إلى الجسم, because a property needs a body. وَالْبَارِئُ لَا يَفْتَقِرُ إِلَى شَيْءٍ, while the creator does not need anything. وَإِلَّا كَانَ الْمُفْتَقَرُ إِلَيْهِ أَشْرَفَ مِنْهِ, or else whatever the creator would require would be nobler than the creator himself. وَهُوَ مُحَالٌ, and that's impossible. وَإِذَا بَطَلَ أَنْ يَكُونَ عَرَضًا, and if it is debunked that the creator would be a property, بَقِيَ أَنْ يَكُونَ جِسْمًا, all that's left is that he would be a body. قلنا, we respond, مَنْشَأُ الْخَبْطِ هَا هُنَا, the source of the blunder here, إِنَّمَا هُوَ مِنَ الْوَهْمِ, is merely delusion. بإعطاء الغائب حكم الشاهد, by giving the absent the judgment of of what's witnessed. By giving the absent the judgment of what is witnessed. What he means by absent is giving the one absent from senses the judgment of what is witnessed. Though our Shaykh doesn't approve of this, because he's saying Allah is absent. He's calling Allah ghaib, absent. And even if he means who's not detected by our senses, which that's true, he is not detected by any of our senses, but the wording is against the hadith referring to God as Al-Ghaib, because in the hadith the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Laysa ghaiba, he is not ghaib, not absent. So if that means the Prophet has made this wording inapplicable to Allah. So then if a scholar comes and uses that wording, applying it to Allah, even if he has some meaning that's the right meaning, the wording itself is rejected. So you're going to take note here. That's one word from a Sunni scholar. Ghaib, Shaykh doesn't approve of that for Allah. Also, if you remember, the Maliki scholars said sabab, reason. Shaykh doesn't accept that Allah is called reason. So he says, though, his words are إِنَّمَا هُوَ مِنَ الْوَهْمِ, the source of this blunder is delusion merely. بِإِعْطَاءِ الْغَائِبِ حُكْمَ الشَّاهِدِ, by giving the absent the judgment of what is witnessed. That's delusion. Like you saw your friend's light on in his bedroom window, and his car was parked outside, and it's 3 a.m. So then you said, he's home for sure. And maybe he's not home. So you're giving the judgment of something that's not witnessed, something that's absent from the senses. You're giving it the judgment of what is witnessed. Yani, there's an assumption here. This is by delusion, giving the absent, he says, the judgment of what's witnessed. وَالْحُكْمِ عَلَى غَيْرِ الْمَحْسُوسِ بِمَا حُكِمَ بِهِ عَلَى الْمَحْسُوسِ. And it is given the judgment of something unperceived, the judgment of what is perceived, sensed, that is. وَهُوَ كَاذِبٌ غَيْرُ صَادِقٌ. And this delusion is deceitful. It's not truthful. It's not honest. فَإِنَّ الْوَهْمَ قَدْ يَرْتَمِي إِلَىٰ أَنَّهُ لَا جِسْمَ إِلَّا فِي مَكَانٍ. For indeed, take an example here. Delusion could throw to the delusional one that there is no body without being in a place. That there would not be a body existing without being in a place. Bina'an ala shahid, based on what he witnesses. وَإِنْ شَهِدَ الْعَقْلُ بِأَنَّ الْعَالَمَ لَا فِي مَكَانٍ. Although the intellect testifies that the world in totality is not in a place. That's because the world is a place. And it's not valid that a place would be in a place. So the world in totality, which is a place, it fills its own space. And then it's not in a place after that. لِكَوْنِ الْبُرْهَانِ قَدْ دَلَّ عَلَى نِهَايَتِهِ. And that's because the evidence proves that the world is limited. It has an edge, has edges, doesn't go on forever, which is something that some of the non-Muslims say. They say the universe goes on forever. So then they said, for example, they made Star Trek. Then they put them in the spaceship and they say they go warp speed and then they just go forever, like just keep going. They'll never run out of somewhere to go. But the mind proves that the world has a limit, or the evidence proves that the world has a limit. And those same ones who said that the world doesn't have a limit, they said it keeps expanding. So that's impossible. بل وقد يشتد وهم بعض الناس بحيث يقضي به على العقل. In fact, some people's delusions could be so strong that it overcomes their reason. وذلك كمن ينفر عن المبيت في بيت فيه ميت أو ميت لتوهمه أنه يتحرك أو يقوم. And that's like someone who is reluctant to sleep in a house that has a dead person, or to spend the night in a house that has a dead person, because of his imagining that the dead person moves and gets up. So it's too creepy for him. وَإِنْ كَانَ عَقْلُهُ يَقُضِي بِانْتِفَاءِ ذَلِكَ. Although his mind judges that that's gone, because this one is dead now. If he's confirmed that he's dead, then Why would he get up and move around? فَإِذَنِ اللَّبِيبُ مَنْ تَرَكَ الْوَهْمَ جَانِبًا. Then the intellectual is the one who leaves delusion to the side. وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ غَيْرَ الْبُرْهَانِ وَالدَّلِيلِ صَاحِبًا. And he did not take other than evidence and proof as a companion. وَإِذَا عَرَفَ أَنَّ مُسْتَنَدَ ذَلِكَ لَيْسَ إِلَّا مُجَرَّدَ الْوَهْمِ or عُرِفَ. And if it is known that the source of that, yani what we are discussing, is nothing but mere delusion, فَطَرِيقُ كَشْفِ الْخَيَالِ إِنَّمَا هُوَ بِالنَّظَرِ فِي الْبُرْهَانِ. Then the way to remove the imagination or the illusion is by looking into the evidence, not assumption or imagination, not just mere opinion only, or else yani is just, you're not going to really reach anything that's true. So some people, it's fine, they don't care about reaching something that's true or getting closer to the truth, or or even getting closer to the truth, yani. And if they hear any opinion different from theirs, then they get offended. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. فَإِنَّا قَدْ بَيَّنَّا أَنَّهُ لَا بُدَّ مِنْ مَوْجُودٍ هُوَ مُبْدِئُ الْكَائِنَاتِ. Indeed, we have clarified that there is most indubitably an existent one who is the starter of the existing things, yani, besides himself. وَبَيَّنَّا أَنَّهُ لَا جَائِزَ أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُ مِثْلٌ مِنَ الْمَوْجُودَاتِ. And we have clarified that it is not possible that this one would have a similar amongst existing things. شَاهِدًا وَلَا غَائِبًا. Neither something witnessed nor something absent. ومع تسليم هاتين القاعدتين يتبين أن ما يقضي به الوهم لا حاصل له. And with submitting to these two rules, with granting these two rules, like you say, it's granted, I approve. Granting these two rules, then it's clear that the judgment of delusion is frivolous. ثم لو لزم أن يكون جسما كما في الشاهد للزم أن يكون حادثا كما في الشاهد. Furthermore, had it been binding that he would be a body because of what's witnessed in existence, and that's created existence though, but for this one, he doesn't know the difference between created and eternal. So it's just existence for him, not created existence versus other than created existence. Remember, what did Al-Junaid say? التوحيد إفراد القديم من المحدث. Monotheism is distinguishing the eternal from the eventual. This one that we are refuting, he started his argument by saying all of what we witness in existence is either a body or a property. And it's not possible that God would be a property because then he would need a body. And so then all that's left is that he is a body himself. And there is no third category that's even thinkable. So that's his argument. So, but if we take his argument and then had it been binding that he would be a body because of what is witnessed in existence, لَلَزِمَ أَنْ يَكُونَ حَادِثًا كَمَا فِي الشَّاهِدِ, then it would be binding that he would be created, just like what's witnessed in existence. وَهُوَ مُمْتَنِعٌ لِمَا سَبَقَ, and that's impossible for the previously mentioned reasons. انتهى, end quote. وقال الفقيه المتكلم ابن المعلم القرشي في كتابه نجم المهتدي. And the jurist and theologian Ibn al-Muallim al-Qurashi said in his book, Najm al-Muhtadi, that means the star of the guided one. This is the star, you use it as a beacon to guide you. So he's saying this book is a star for the one who wants the right way. ما نصه, quote, وَالَّذِي يَعْبُدُ جِسْمًا عَلَى عَرْشٍ كَبِيرٍ, anyone who worships a body sitting upon a big throne. وَيَجْعَلُ جِسْمَهُ كَقَدْرِ أَبِي قُبَيْسٍ, and he makes this one's body as big as the mountain of Abu Qubais. أو سبعة أشبار بشبره, or he makes this one as big as 7 handspans of his own hand. كما حكي عن هشام الرافضي, like what was said about Hisham, that Shiite, the Rafidi meaning Shi'i. أو كلاما آخر تقشعر منه جلود الذين يخشون ربهم, or any other talk that gives goosebumps to the people who fear their Lord. فَقَدْ عَبَدَ غَيْرَ اللَّهِ فَهُوَ كَافِرٌ, this one has worshipped someone other than God, and therefore he's a disbeliever. ثُمَّ قال, and then he said, وَالْقِسْمُ الثَّانِي مِمَّنْ أَطْلَقُ الْجِسْمِيَّةِ منعوا التأليف والتركيب وقالوا عنينا بكونه جسما وجوده. He said the second category, yani it's a different statement, or there's something in between. The second category of those who use the word jism of jismiyah, that means corporeality, bodiness. The second category of those who used corporeality, the word of corporeality. So had they been speaking in English exactly like what he's saying, they would be saying, God has corporeality. Jismiyah. منعوا التأليف والتركيب, they denied composition and construction. So they're saying he has corporeality without composition or construction. وَقَالُوا عَلَيْنَا بِكَوْنِهِ جِسْمًا, and they say, and what we mean by his being a body is wujudahu, that he exists. So what's the judgment of those? He says, وَهَؤُلَاءِ كَفَرُوا, they committed blasphemy. Why they committed blasphemy here? They would be blasphemers here when they know what the word body means. Because there are some people who said jism or jismiyah, body or corporeality, but they didn't even know what body means. And so they thought it means existence. They said Allah has a body, and they meant Allah is existent. And really, in reality, they didn't understand more than this. Then those did not blaspheme. ثم قال, and then he said, قال الإمام أبو سعيد المتولي في كتاب غنية المقبول في علم الأصول. He said, Imam Abu Sa'id Al-Mutawalli said in the book Ghunyatul Maqbul, excuse me, in the book Ghunyatul Maqbul fi ilmi al-usul, what did he say? فَإِنْ قَالُوا نَحْنُ نُرِيدُ بِقَوْلِنَا جِسْمٌ أَنَّهُ مَوْجُودٌ. If they were to say, what we mean by saying about God, body is existent. وَلَا نُرِيدُ تَأْلِيف, and we don't mean composition. قُلْنَا, we respond, هَذِهِ التَّسْمِيَةُ فِي اللُّغَةِ لَيْسَ كَمَا ذَكَرْتُمْ. This designation of the word in the language is not as you have mentioned. He's saying you're using the word wrongfully. وَهِيَ مُنْبِئَةٌ عَنِ الْمُسْتَحِيلِ. And your wording tells of something impossible. Your wording in its true meaning tells of the impossible. فَلِمَ أَطْلَقْتُمْ ذَلِكَ مِنْ غَيْرِ وُرُودِ سَمَعٍ. So why would you say that without it coming in the religious documents? وَمَا الْفَصْلُ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَ مَنْ يُسَمِّيهِ جَسَدًا. And what's the difference between you, who are saying he's a jism, and someone else who says he's a jasad? وَيُرِيدُ بِهِ الْوُجُودِ, and he means existence. وَإِنْ كَانَ يُخَالِفُ مُقْتَضَى اللُّغَةِ. Although that is against the language. It's like he's saying, don't you find it clear that if someone said he's a jasad, that this is wrong? And even if he said, well, we mean he exists, but isn't it clear for you that that's wrong? Because jasad doesn't mean mere existence. So like that, that's what you're doing. You're saying jism, and you're claiming you mean existent. What's the difference between you and them? قال Abu Sa'id rahimahullah. Abu Sa'id, may Allah have mercy on him, said, فَإِنْ قِيلْ, if it were said, أَلَيْسَ يُسَمَّى نَفْسًا. Isn't Allah called a nafs, a self or a being? قُلْنَا اتَّبَعْنَا فِيهِ السَّمَعِ. We respond, we are following in that usage the religious documents. وَهُوَ قَوْلُهُ سُبْحَانَهُ. And that's when God said, telling about what Jesus shall say in the afterlife. تَعْلَمُ مَا فِي نَفْسِي وَلَا أَعْلَمُ مَا فِي نَفْسِكَ. Now, if I translate the statement verbatim, it would come out, Oh Allah, that Jesus said, Oh Allah, you know what's in myself, and I don't know what's in yourself. And explaining exactly what he means here is not the point. And what is the point here is the usage of the word nafs for God. That's the point here. As for how to explain the wording of the ayah, that's another issue that we're not going to address now. That's the 116th verse of Surah Al-Ma'idah. وَلَمْ يَرِدِ السَّمْعُ بِالْجِسْمِ. But there's no religious documentation that came calling God jism. وَكَذَلِكَ قَالَ الْإِمَامِ. And that's what the Imam said. انتهى, end quote, يعني Imam Al-Haramain. And he means Imam Al-Haramain, Al-Juwayni. ثم قال ابن المعلم. Then Ibn al-Muallim said, قال الإمام أبو عبد الله محمد بن عمر الأنصاري القرطبي. Imam Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Umar al-Ansari al-Qurtubi said, radiyallahu anhu, may Allah accept him, وَالَّذِي يَقْتَضِي بُطْلَانَ الْجِهَةِ وَالْمَكَانِ مَعَ مَا قَرَّرْنَاهُ من كلام شيخنا وغيره من العلماء وجهان. He said, that which dictates the invalidity of direction and place for God, along with what we have verified of the talk of our Shaykh and other scholars, is two ways. أحدهما أن الجهة لو قدرت لكان فيها نفي الكمال. One of those two is that a direction, had it been supposed, has a negation of perfection. وخالق الخلق مستغن بكمال ذاته عما لا يكون به كاملا عما لا يكون به كاملا. And the creator of the creations is unneedy by the perfection of his self of anything by which he would not be perfect. والثاني أن الجهة إما أن تكون قديمة أو حادثة. And the second way is that a direction would either be eternal or created. We're talking mentally here. We're talking for argument's sake here. فإن كانت قديمة أدى إلى محالين. Now, if the direction were something eternal, that would lead to two impossibilities. أحدهما أن يكون مع البارئ في الأزل غيره. The first is that there would be with the creator in eternity something else. So that's shirk. Because the direction is other than the thing that's in the direction. You have a thing that's itself, and its direction is not itself. So it's something else. So those Wahhabis, they say, Allah, so many of them say, you don't understand. Saying that Allah is above is not saying he's in a place. He's above without being in a place. That's a shirk. They're basically saying he's in an eternal place. But they're too dumb to realize that they're confirming a place. So instead of calling that place a place, they're calling it above. And they're saying above doesn't mean place. Subhanallah. How moronic. Subhanallah. I have in my comments section someone who said this. Inshallah, if I upload this video, I'm going to put a statement there so that you can see that they say that, so that people can see they really say that. والقديمان ليس أحدهما أن يكون مكانا للثاني بأولى من الآخر. And also, if there were two eternal ones, yani the eternal one and the eternal direction that he's in according to this one, these two eternal ones, neither one of them is more deserving to be a place for the other than the other is. Why is this one the place for the other one and not that one is the place for the first one? Why is the first one the place for the second one and the second one is not the place for the first one? And they're both eternal and beginningless. فَافْتَقَرَ إِلَى مُخَصِّص. So then, whichever one is the place for the other one, he needs a specifier to give him that determination. يُنْقَلُ الْكَلَامُ إِلَيْهِ. A determiner, a specifier that the discussion would go to him. Then we'll talk about that one who determines how the eternal should be. وَمَا يُفْضِي إِلَى الْمُحَالِ مُحَالِ. And anything that leads to the impossible is itself impossible. Intaha, end quote. Wallahu a'lam. Allah knows best. Do you have any question I can answer for you?
Shaykh,
yes.
Which is the What were they talking about? إنه ما يبقى زمانين أو ما لا يبقى زمانين. Was it تعرض?
Yes.
Okay, like الحركة والسكون. Did they
Yes.
mean that?
Yes.
So الحركة, it does go out of existence and into like we can see it go in and out of existence.
Yes.
But like what they also said, the color and what else?
That stays in existence, the color.
Okay, they didn't say that one though, right?
Correct. And the knowledge stays in existence for
No,
more than 2 moments.
no. بارك الله فيك.
Ameen wa fikum.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Does the English language come with saying or any way that saying that something is a body, one can somehow mean by that? Oh, I just mean it exists. It doesn't really come to me that someone would say this is a body and they mean by that it exists in the English language.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see it.
Barakallahu feek.
Ameen wa fiq. Yeah, so that means then if there were someone like that, it's his ignorance.
Right.
Nah. I even saw some people, they thought that existence means life. And I talked to them. I said, they don't mean the same. And they said to me, how could there be existence if there wasn't any life?
Subhanallah.
MashaAllah.